All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Julia Sapor, if you're new to me, and we are here live here at Eugene Yoga South, and this is gentle yoga for 1 hour. So today I want to just think about, when things get kind of crazy and uncertain, we may be wondering, where are we going as a culture, as a planet? And that can be overwhelming rather quickly. So more importantly, is to know, where are we right now? Can we orient to where we are in space and time in this moment? And fortunately, our body has this innate wisdom that helps us orient to where we are in space physically, whether we're upside down, left, right, up, sideways. And I'm talking about our vestibular system. And this is, we'll talk a little bit more about this, but it's the inner ear balance system. And it can help us orient no matter what way we're looking. And while it might not solve the global crisis, it might help us feel more grounded and balanced and centered, so that no matter what waves are rocking our ship to and fro, we can live with greater ease and balance. So, yeah, it'll just help us right the ship of, kind of maybe flatten the curve of our cultural chaos. That's my hope. But does our vestibular balance actually need brushing off? It can get a little crusty and sticky in these spots. So yoga can help us get that flow going, get it unstuck, so that we can really weather those waves. All right, so let's come on to your back. Constructed rest position. And we'll begin with just feeling your bones on the ground, feeling your shoulder blades and your collarbones broadening, the back of your head dropping, and your hips and feet. And bring awareness to your breath, noticing as you exhale, the lower ribs are dropping towards the back of your body. And we're going to just begin with a very gentle bridge pose. So next time you exhale, your lower back is imprinted. Press into your feet into the floor so much that your tailbone lifts, rolling up on the sacrum, rolling up into a bridge pose. Doesn't have to be so high. Maybe you come up to the shoulders. And then as you roll down, one vertebra at a time, broadening in your back body, all the way back down to the sacrum and your tailbone. And then again, articulating one vertebra at a time, coming up in the bridge. Pressing into the feet, send the knees forward, reaching your sit bones towards your knees. And then as you exhale, coming down, broadening, placing one vertebra down. Good. Let's try one more like that. And roll back down. All right. And then take a hold of behind your knees and roll up to sitting, and we'll come to a child's pose here. In child's pose, we're rounded, looking at the belly. And then as you press up to table, coming forward into a little plank pose, looking gently forward and up. And back down to child's pose. Just a little dynamic movement, waking up the vertebra. Good. And come back up. And come to your seat. We'll be doing a roll down, a single leg roll down. And so you can place your hands underneath your right thigh, underneath your knee. And then roll back on your hips, on your sacrum there. And just go down a little ways so that you can come back up. So you'll notice my elbows are wide. My belly is dropping towards the back body. And then I'm pressing my thigh into my hands to come up. So now you can explore in your own body, articulating your vertebra down, down, down. How far can you go down? You might be surprised as you come up, coming up on an exhale, pressing into your hands, the thigh pressing into the hands to come up. Just explore that. You might roll all the way down, your head touching. And as you come up on inhale, look at your belly. Look at your belly. And exhale. There's a tough spot in there, but deep exhale will help. Let's try one more. And finish that last one, and we'll try this on the other side. So now taking hold of the left under the thigh and rolling down one vertebra at a time. Take it slow so that you are staying in control of that best you can. Pressing the thigh into the hands. There you go. And moving with the breath. Last one here. You feel each of those vertebrae. You might even feel like, oh, there's one vertebra, this second vertebra starting to feel like it's getting some pressure or lightening the pressure. All right, coming back up to sitting. So now you can continue with that, or we'll go to a full roll down. So either the hands underneath the knees, that's great, or you could try the hands up in front of you. Just depends on your confidence and tone here in the belly. I'll start with my hands under the knees, rolling down, rounding in the low back. One, walk your hands down the thighs perhaps. And maybe coming down all the way, hands to come behind you. And then bringing the hands up to the sky, look towards your belly, inhaling. And then at some point you get to that hard spot, and then you use that exhale. Yeah, just like rocket booster, bringing you back up. And rolling down, exhale. And inhale, arms overhead behind you. Take a nice exhale here. And inhale, arms up to the sky, looking to your belly, peeling up the vertebra, and then at the tough spot, turn on those rocket boosters. And one last one. Great job. All right, come on all the way up to your feet. Heels lifted. And so just like we did in this last moment of spine articulating one vertebra at a time, we're going to come up to standing like a reverse waterfall. So press your heels down, unbending your knees, looking behind you. And then like you're peeling up onto a wall, one vertebra at a time, rounding the spine like a rag doll. Bringing one vertebra at a time back onto the wall. Your head will come last. All right, good. All right, let's do a partial sun salutation. Let's take the exhale up. I know that sounds reverse, but there's a reason behind that. Inhale, forward fold, breathing into your upper back. Exhale into gorilla pose, with your spine horizontal to the floor. I like to press my hands into the shins and the shins pressing into the hands so I can reach my sit bones back and the base of my skull forward. It's a nice long spine. And then inhale, folding forward. And again, articulating your vertebra, coming up. You can sweep your arms out to the side if you like. And hands to the side. We'll do one more quickly on the way up. Exhale. And inhale, forward fold. Exhale, gorilla pose, long spine. Inhale, forward fold. And exhale, rise all the way up. Good. All right. Let's do a warrior two side angle. So we'll take a nice wide stance. Turn that right heel out, left toes forward. And then feeling both feet equally grounded. And bending the front knee. So aim that front knee over the front of the foot. Pressing down into the front foot, rise up. And just moving with your breath. Warming up the ankles, the knees, the hip. So what's this vestibular balance thing here? Let's pause in the bent knee position, hands at your heart. So in the inner ear, we have these 3 semicircular ear canals, and there's some other little structures that help us orient like a gyroscope, whether we're looking up or down, left or right, or moving forward and back in space. So let's bring hands to hips now, and we'll take this nice long spine, tipping from the hips, forearm to your thigh, eye gaze is forward. And now let's take the eye gaze, just the eye gaze, up to the sky. So nose forward, eye gaze up. And now let your nose follow your eye gaze, looking up. And come back to center. Press down to the front foot and rise up. And second side. So now that left heel back, right toes forward. And we'll dynamically move these joints here on the right side with your breath. So we'll pause here for a moment, hands to your heart. So where's the torso here? Maybe it's facing towards the knee, but could you keep the knee right facing forward and turn your torso a little bit more towards your heart? There we go. So what's the benefit of this vestibular balance work? Well, as kids, we used to change our orientation a lot. You know, think about being on the playground. I remember twirling on the monkey bars, being on swings, hanging upside down on those pull-up bars. I don't do that so much anymore. And I wonder if that has something to do with the amount of resilience that kids have, is that they do change their orientation so much. But it does help promote the sense of, I know where I am in space, I'm oriented, and even when we tip to the side, which we'll do now, go ahead and tip the hips, forearm to your thigh. So here, just take the eye gaze, looking up. Exhale, knitting the ribs. Inhale, breathing into the upper back. And now let your eye gaze and your nose go up to the sky. So feel that front foot on the floor, the right foot. All 5 toes pressing down, the balls of your feet, the heel. Pressing down so much that the front knee bends and you rise back up. And bring your feet back together and just take a stand. Take a moment, close your eyes. And just feel. You might, when you close your eyes, did you feel a little bit of wobbling? because that would be an expression of your balance here, of another part of your balance system, the proprioceptive sense, helping you find your way in space. Well, just not, rather than thinking like, oh, I'm unbalanced, that's just an expression of your balance system. All right, let's take a nice wide stance, and we'll turn the feet out a little bit for sumo, and hands could be on your hips. And then triple flexion, ankles, knees, hips bending, the thigh bones moving in the same direction as your feet. And press up. Like exhaling down, the sit bones slide apart. See if you can feel that. And then they come together. Sit bones slide apart, and sit bones draw together. And let's have hands at heart. We'll add a little shoulder movement here. So sweeping the arms out and up. Take your gaze up. And then hands to heart. So your eyes are kind of maybe following your hands. Exhale, sweep the arms out and up, taking the gaze up. So this is working on our vestibular balance. And we'll pause here. All right. So now let's lift this left heel. Nice and high. Lift the right heel. Nice and high. Planting all 5 toes down. Let's lower the left heel to a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch down and lift. Other heel. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch down, lift that heel. Now both heels, here we go. 5, you got it. 3, 2, 1. Touch down, press up. Oh my goodness, that feels good. All right, just march that out a little bit. And we'll take this to a sun salutation. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, forward fold into the upper back. Exhale, gorilla pose. Inhale, back to downward facing dog. So bend your knees a lot. Lift your heels. Look back behind you. This is another orientation for vestibular balance. We're upside down. Take your hips further back to lengthen your spine. And let's do a little figure 8 movement with our head. Let's really loosen that up. All right, and step forward. Bend your knees quite a bit and reach your arms forward for chair pose. Broaden the collarbones away from your ears. Good. Press down. Let's lift this left heel. Plant it. Lift the right heel. Plant it. Switch. Switch. Both heels pressing down. Rise up. Gaze comes up. And hands by your side. Good. Okay. Just another little vestibular balance practice here. This is an eye gaze. Take your finger out at arm's length and look at your fingernail and slowly bring it towards your nose. At some point your eyes will cross. They won't get stuck. We're only going to be there a moment. Keep looking at the fingernail, and then once you touch the nose, extend your finger out long. Eye gaze on the fingernail, and now look at the far distance. And one more time to your fingernail, to your nose. So this is where we're working on a different structure in your inner ear that works with far distance and near distance. Looking into the far distance and back. All right, back to your side. Take a nice wide stance. And we'll turn that right heel out, left toes forward, and hands on the hips. Bending the front knee. And taking this vertical orientation onto the diagonal, and take your lower hand down to your shin. Press your shin into your hand. So here we are on the diagonal spine. As you press your shin into your hand, take your sit bones, that left sit bone back. You're going to find that that's going to unbend the front knee, and your spine comes more into the horizontal triangle pose. So taking just your gaze, only your gaze, and look down to your front foot. And then eye gaze follows, looking down at the front foot. And then take a breath here. Full deep exhale, knitting the ribs. Back to center, eye gaze to the center. And now eye gaze, only eye gaze, looking up to the sky or whatever is above you. And now letting your eye gaze turn up to follow your gaze. Head and nose looking up. And back to center. Press down through the front foot to rise up. And let's go to the second side. So left heel back, right toes forward. Getting nice and tall at first. Both feet grounded as you bend the front knee. Straight over the front foot. So now the knee could be over the ankle, especially if you have any knee things going on. Maybe you've had an ACL injury or a knee replacement. Keep the knee over the ankle. Otherwise, no problem if that knee goes a little further forward. And we'll come down, tipping that spine now on the diagonal. The lower hand goes to the shin. Upper hand is on your hip. So now, pressing the shin forward as you reach back through this right sit bone, the leg begins to straighten. And the spine comes more into horizontal. All right, so now the eye gaze again. Eye gaze only, looking down at your front foot. Nose is forward. And then go ahead and let the nose follow your eye gaze. Pressing that shin forward. That same right hip drawing back. Exhale, knitting the ribs. And as you inhale, breathe into the upper back. One more. On your next inhale, come on up. And then heel toe together. Again, just take a moment, close your eyes. And just let your mind rest a moment. Let's take the shoulders up just a smidge. Back a smidge. And then the weight of your fingernails just drops. Notice if your knees are locked. Pretty common for a lot of us. Soften them. And then notice if there's a little bit of wobbling. Think of that wobbling as your vestibular balance and proprioceptive sense helping find where you are in space in this moment. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And we'll take tree pose. So tree pose, we're going to play with balance a little bit in our vestibular and proprioceptive senses. So let's really engage the arches of our feet. So lift that right heel up, stretch it back and down, and lift those toes up and plant them. And then lift your left heel, turning the left knee out, and just place the ankle, that heel above that ankle, that left heel above your right ankle. So because we're playing with balance, this may be enough. If you want to go further, that would be fine. Hands to your heart. Okay. So perhaps lifting the toes like a kickstand. Exhale, knitting those ribs. Inhale into the upper back. So to challenge vestibular balance here, you might take just your eye gaze to the left and see what you get there. Maybe there's a little wobbling, or to the right. Just work when you take your eye gaze. That might be a little bit challenging for your vestibular balance. Maybe looking up. Maybe letting your nose follow your eye gaze. If you move too fast, that can be even more challenging. But another way to challenge this. And then come on down gracefully. Let's try this on the second side. We'll lift up that left heel, reach it back and down. Lift the toes, spread them wide, and plant each toe down. That's the really important part. And then again, check if your knees are locked because, you know, some of us have that habit of locking the knees, so soften them a little bit. And then we'll find this tree pose on the second side. Okay, I just noticed a little habit. I was sinking in here. So rooting down to that standing leg, turning on those deeper glutes. All right. So then from here, you may want a different challenge for your balance. Some of you like your leg up into the thigh. That's fine. You might want to take your arms somewhere else interesting. That's fine as well. I'm going to stay here today and play with other options with balance, maybe slowly blinking. What happens there? And increase the length of your blinking so that your eyes stay closed a little bit longer. Yeah. And knowing that this wobbling is great, you're actually working your vestibular and proprioceptive senses. So come on back down, shake that out a little bit, and we'll take another sun salutation. So inhale, sweep the arms out, and exhale, lift. Inhale, forward fold, peeling that spine off the wall like Gumby. Looking behind you, let's hang here for an extra breath. Decompressing the neck vertebra, the spine, bend your knees as much as you need. And come up part way with the hands just hanging down. Let's do like figure eights with your arms. You're just drawing some figure eights. A little bit like an elephant trunk. And go the other way. And then wind that down. Let's take downward facing dog. So step back. Looking behind you. Again, we're upside down, challenging that vestibular balance. It gets kind of sticky as we age. Different things just don't work like they used to. And then we'll come into plank pose, looking forward. You could have your knees down if you prefer. Looking up a bit and go back to downward dog. And back to plank. Maybe a cobra. And one more time. So we're really taking our vestibular, our eye gaze in through different orientations from behind us, looking at the floor, looking forward, maybe looking up. And come finish with a down dog. And step forward. And we'll be in chair pose here. So bend the knees quite a bit and reach your arms forward. Nice broad collarbones. The tailbone isn't tucking under or sticking out. It's just in neutral in that nice long spine. So now pressing down to the right foot, lift your left heel. Lift the whole left foot. And switch, lifting the right foot. Okay, one more time each side. I'm going to add a little challenge here. If you're up for it, lifting that left foot, tap out to the left. And come back to a balance. And down. Switch. Right heel lifts. Tap. And down. Great. Press down. Rise up. And hands to your side. Take another moment here. Close your eyes. Shoulders slightly left. Slightly roll back and down. Fingernails just drift. Feet dropping into the earth, knees relaxed. And just let your mind rest here for a moment. Let's do marching band. This is agility work. So in marching band, we'll root down through that right foot, lift the left heel, and take your right arm overhead. That might be as far as you want to go. You may want to take that whole, pick up the whole knee. Now in a moment, we're going to switch our arms and step back with this lifted leg. So switch. And back up. And switch. Take it slow. So now to make this a little more challenging, you could step back a little bit further. And you could speed it up for a little more agility work. Remember, the wobbling is a good sign. It's an expression of your balance. And if you're steady all the time, you're not really working your edge. Okay, last one here. Finish on the balance. Root down to that standing leg. Feel the sensations in that foot as you come back. 2 feet. Feel that weight shift. Now they're evening out. Second side. So either the right heel lifts or the right leg lifts. Left arm up. All right, here we go. I'll go to the side. And moving with your own breath and your own degree of challenge. Some of you may want to take a bigger step back. Some of you may want to go faster. Some of you may want to slow it down. Going slow can build strength, and going faster can build agility. What's agility? That's balance while you're moving. All right, let's finish with the balance. Feel the feet, especially the one that's standing. And as you lower here in a moment, feel that shift from weight on one foot to now going to 2 feet. Just go just a moment. Maybe noticing your heart rate. And again, your body's innate wisdom helping you find homeostasis here. Coming back home to that center balance where everything's okay. I have no emergency. Here we are. Let's exhale, take the arms up. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale to gorilla pose, long spine. Inhale, forward fold. Step back for downward dog. One more time, look behind you, reach your hips back. Roll into plank, looking at the floor. And then either with your knees on the floor, come on down. I like to bring my knees down, all the way down. And hands by your ribs, shoulders rolling forward. Chin and nose just lightly off the floor. And pick up your right leg, reach it back, and then the left leg, reach it back. And now take the arms out in front of you, a little bit wider than your mat. And pressing down with your handprints, lifting up, the elbows lift. You're lifting from the upper back, and your head and neck are coming for the ride. All right, classic cobra, probably our oldest cobra pose right here. And now we're going to practice that eye gaze, looking off to the right and turning your head to the right. Take a breath into your upper back. Exhale, knitting the ribs and come back to center. And now eye gaze looking to the left. looking left. Inhale into the upper back and exhale, knitting the ribs as you return. And then make a pillow with your two hands underneath your forehead and rest. This is Makrasana. And Makrasana is probably one of our best poses for infusing air and expanding the lung capacity, since most of our lung tissue is in the back body. So take some nice deep inhales into your back body. And full deep exhales. We're just going to spend about a minute here doing some deep breathing. And then bring your hands by your ribs. Shoulders rolling forward. Let your elbows relax. Reaching back through your toes. And as you press down with the handprints, lift from upper back. Still looking at the floor. Just a few inches, doesn't have to be much. And then maybe taking the hands off the floor, sweep them back by your hips. This is thoracic extension. We could add some pelvic extension by lifting your two strong, steady, straight legs. Lifting from the tops of your thighs. Extend the crown of your head forward and come on back. Forehead on your hands and rest. Breathing into your upper back. And one more time like that, hands by your ribs. Pressing up, lifting up to a little bit of thoracic extension, upper back. An option to lift the hands back by your hips, palms face up. And then going further, if you like, lifting those two legs from the tops of your thigh bones. Reach the base of your skull forward. And then hands back to underneath your shoulders. Press up to table pose and come through to sitting. Another orientation. So we've been looking down for a while. Yeah, take child's pose if you like, that would be lovely. We'll all meet up in sitting eventually. All right. So just notice that we just made a shift here. Getting flexible with being tossed around in different orientations. And getting that mobility and that fluidity happening. So take your feet a little bit wider. So remember when we practice that roll down with our spine on the wall, and we're coming forward a little bit like Gumby. So take your arms forward, and starting from the top of your neck, we're going to just drop the chin, and the crown of your head is reaching towards your hands. And then go ahead and let your hands reach towards your feet, peeling one vertebra off the wall at a time like Gumby. As you exhale, drawing that low belly back to the wall behind you. And come on back up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, full deep exhale, dropping the crown of your head forward towards your hands, hands reach to the feet, articulating one vertebra at a time. Very end of the exhale, come on up. Like you're inflating one of those balloons, you see the car dealerships or something. Okay. 1, A couple more times. The heels pressing into the floor. And come up to sitting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's add a little bit to this with Janu Sirsasana. So take that right knee in, give it a little hug, and take that right foot to the inner thigh. We'll extend the left leg long, the heel pressing, sitting nice and tall. And if you'd like, you might want to sit on a blanket or roll up your mat underneath your hips if that would help your low back to be in that nice natural curve. Okay, so here we go. Heel pressing down. The knee is active. It's like it's trying to lift up, but it's also pressing down. All right. And then again, let's from the hips this time. We'll just fold forward from the hips. Hip flexion. And maybe just spider walk your hands down towards your foot. So where do you notice that the sense of ease moving into this stretch happens? Is it as you inhale or as you exhale? So work with that skillfully, being patient, without having any striving like you want to get your nose to your knee. It's simply allowing your body to move as it wishes. Let it dictate. Body's the teacher, the mind can be the student. So when you found that sweet spot, let's take this left hand out to the side and the right hand to the inner, the outer left leg, or maybe the outer left foot, just depends on where you are. And again, we'll take our gaze looking out over the left hand. Maybe walk that left hand back behind you. We're adding a little bit of twist here. Twisting the vertebra down one at a time, from the neck to the upper vertebra, and the upper back, the rib cage. Take a deep breath into the rib cage on the back body. And exhale, belly towards the spine. And come on back. And slowly come on up. And second side. So I'll give you a profile picture this time. So perhaps sitting up or rolling your mat. You can sit up a little bit. That extra, just that, even that little ½ inch and inch is helping my low back maintain its natural curve, which is important. So nice and tall. Right heel planting into the floor as I flex from the hips first. Long spine. Just spider walk out. Letting your breath move you deeper into the pose. Rather like I'm thinking about how the tide just comes up gradually. It just doesn't come up from low tide to high tide in one wave. It takes several breaths, several waves, several minutes for the tide to come up. So glad the ocean is in striving mode to land on the earth. That heel, the front heel could be pressing down. That same right shin could be trying to lift up. Right sit bone rooting down. And if you like, let your head go. Looking back towards your belly. Breathe into your upper back. And then peel up one vertebra at a time. Great. And while we're here, let's do a twist, a little bit more of a twist. So let's take that, hug that. Left knee in, you could be here. You could cross the leg. Or if you prefer, you could be an easy sitting pose, just right here. Whatever is most comfortable for you. All right, and we'll hug that left knee with the right arm. And we'll start with that left arm just by the side comfortably. Or starting a trickle down twist, starting with the eye gaze, looking left. Just the eye gaze. And then one vertebra at a time, turning the nose to follow your gaze. And then all the neck vertebra. And the shoulders come into action here. The upper vertebra and the thoracic spine begin to twist. Be walking that left hand back a little bit more. But not so far that you are cranking into the twist and squeezing the life out of this pose. So make sure that your breath is still moving you dynamically a little bit out of the pose and a little bit into the pose. Just like the tides coming in, you slowly, gradually deepen the twist. Without force. And come on back to center slowly, gradually. And second side. Maybe hugging that right knee in. And taking the left hand around the front of the knee. I like having the palm down for a little shoulder benefit here. And then the right arm out to the side. Twisting the top vertebra, the second, the third, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and then the thoracic vertebra come into play. We're just really twisting in the rib cage area. The low back vertebra twisting very little, if any at all. And using your breath just to ease in and out of the pose. Inhaling into the upper back. And exhale, let those lower ribs knit towards your belly. And come on back to center. And let's come onto your back. Well, just one of you. You come onto your back with your feet on the floor. And take a moment. Here we are in another orientation now, looking up to the sky. We used to do this a lot more as kids, looking up at the sky, watching clouds go by. Little did we know we were engaging our vestibular balance system. All right, so let's bring that right knee in towards your chest and bring the hands behind the leg, behind the knee. And if you can, extend the left leg out long. And then just bend and extend the knee. Let's point the toes up and press the heel down. And point the toes up. Press the heel down. Now let's go opposite. Press the heel up and point the toes down. Heel press up. And toes point down. So next time the heel is up, the leg is extended. It's generally straight, but not locked. And then press your heel up even more. Broaden your collarbones, relax your jaw. And again, just like the tide, slowly draw that leg towards you. So some of you, maybe you can reach the back of your calf. Some of you maybe reach the arms or the foot. My arms are just not that long. Or maybe, oh, I'm challenged in all kinds of ways. All right. Some people have long arms and short legs, and some people have long legs and short arms. Some are blessed with both. Okay, so now let's take the left arm out to the side. The right arm comes to the inside of the right leg. So what I want you to focus on is keeping that left hip firmly grounded as you slowly explore taking the right leg out to the side. You can have a little bit of resistance of the leg pressing into your hand, and the hand is pressing the leg. So is your left hip still grounded? Again, if you're trying to get to the floor, that's that striving mind. Let that go. And come on back up to the middle. And now switch your arms, that left arm to the outer right leg, and just cross the midline a little bit. You don't have to go far. Point and flex the foot. And come back to the midline. Bend the knee, slide that leg out long, and just notice. How do the two legs feel right now? Do they feel the same or different? You might even notice in your hips how they're feeling. Now let's do the second side. So hands underneath the left knee or the thigh. And just bending and straightening this leg. You can add that, what I call pointing. That's where the toes are pointing up and the heel presses down. And then reverse that, heel pressing up, toes point down. You feel some muscles engaging in your leg there when you do that. Next time the leg is extended up towards the sky, press your heel up towards the sky a little more. Broaden the collarbones, relax your shoulders a bit. And then here we come into this active stretch. You could either press this leg into your hands, this left leg, and drawing the leg towards you, bending the elbows, keeping your collarbones wide. And again, some of you will reach for the back of your calf or your foot. Ease in the jaw. The jaw wants to help here. Let it be relaxed on vacation somewhere. All right, and then taking the right arm out to the side, left arm inside the left leg. Keeping your right hip firmly grounded as you slowly explore, left leg going out to the side. So it can help that sense of exhaling fully to help knit those lower ribs down towards your belly. To keep that right hip grounded. Again, notice if your neck muscles are trying to help you here. Let them be relaxed. And then bring the leg back up to center. We'll switch hands, crossing the midline. Just a little bit. Just a little point and flex the toes, the foot. And bring that leg back to center, bend the knee, extend both legs out long, and see what the results are. Just receive the benefit of that work. All right, and one last. Let's bend both feet on the floor, knees bent. And figure four. So let's take the right ankle over your left thigh. Gently pressing that knee away. You could use your hand or not. Perhaps drawing that left knee towards your chest, threading your hands or a strap if you have that nearby, behind the left thigh. Excuse me. And perhaps a gentle press on that right knee, very gentle. And I like to rock a little bit side to side. Across my hips. Notice where you feel sensation. Maybe even leaning into the left a little bit. Find a stretch there and let that right side be heavy. And come on back. And then we'll switch. Uncross, bringing the left ankle over the right thigh. I'm exploring this side as you wish. Drawing perhaps that right knee towards you. So could you relax your shoulders away from your ears a little bit? Soften in your jaw. And perhaps a little side to side roll. Maybe finding a space on the right that you want to just hang out in a little bit and let the left hip be heavy. Just take another breath or two into those tight spots. You can take that right knee in tiny circles. Tiny circles. And go the other direction. Okay, we didn't do that on the other side. All right, come on down. Feet on the floor perhaps, and just let your feet a little bit wider. Your knees can drop together. See how that feels for your final resting pose. If you like legs extended out long, great. Or if you happen to be near a couch, you want to lie on your couch or put your legs up over the couch, that would be fantastic. Wherever you are, just let the practice go. We've been taking our little ship out on the stormy seas of looking up and down and left and right, putting our head in all kinds of orientations, challenging vestibular balance so that we can help our body find center, find its home. So now resting in the calm seas, just let yourself be held. As if you're floating in 10 inches of salt water. So much salt that you're just floating effortlessly. Let your head rest. Roof of your mouth soft. Sense of broad spaciousness in the mouth. Belly rising and falling with your breath. You might notice that as you let go of the exhale, how the body spreads like water. There might even be a momentary flicker of a pause at the end of your exhale. Opening into that deep ocean where there are no waves, there are no storms. Deeply still. And yet fluid. Same meditation as your eyes slowly open, taking in the space around you. And rocking your ship a little left and right, making your way slowly, gently, back up to sitting. And bring your hands together at your heart. And bowing to your own heart with affection and kindness. Acknowledge your effort to be here today and to nurture your well-being. Finding that home again, that center balance, where you are steady and resilient. Whatever waves come ashore, know that you can handle that. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me here.